Hello truth seekers, and welcome back to our channel as we uncover the startling reality behind the glitzy realm of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here once more, ready to drop another bombshell revelation that is bound to cast a shadow over Buckingham Palace. Just when you believed that Sussex's relentless thirst for entitlement and self-deception had reached its peak, Princess Pinocchio herself has taken things to the next level by escalating her personal battle against the royal institution. Yes, you heard it right. In a recent display of Meghan Markle's enduring victim mentality, rumors suggest that she is prepared to launch a full-blown legal attack against King Charles if he dares to revoke her coveted title of Duchess of Sussex. Ironically, this is the same title she openly criticized for years while attempting to exploit the monarchy for her own gain. But before we dive into the chaotic aftermath of this revelation, if you haven't already, kindly hit the subscribe button and enable notifications. You wouldn't want to miss the explosive revelations we have in store. But wait, there's more. According to rumors floating from the Montecito sanctuary, Meghan's grandiose demands reportedly include securing an even higher-ranking title to compensate for any potential demotion. It's audacious enough that she dares to dictate terms to an ancient sovereign institution, let alone requesting a more prestigious moniker. I can only envision the perplexed expressions exchanged among the dwindling royal advisors upon hearing these latest delusions. After enduring years of deception, betrayal, and shameless exploitation from this couple, the sovereign is now being pressured to indulge their whims with a more glamorous and aristocratic rebranding? All at the behest of the Duchess. Classic protagonist syndrome from Meghan, the idealist. Despite her claims to humility and social justice, this former actress with a history in Hallmark movies has always envisioned herself as a transformative figure destined to revolutionize the monarchy through her unyielding ambition. In her eyes, every venerable institution must ultimately serve to glorify her greatness. Yet, it seems that King Charles has finally found his backbone and stood firm against such manipulative tactics. In response to Meghan's legal threats, royal insiders suggest that the new sovereign brazenly exclaimed, "Who do you think you are?" directly to her presumptuous face. It's a gratifying turn of events to witness the oppressed standing up to their oppressor. Even the meekest souls can only be pushed so far before their ancestral courage compels them to defend what little dignity is left within the family. It's high time the quietest man in Windsor confronted this pretentious American upstart once and for all. Yet even as an absolute Republican, a prude and a snob who wants rid of the royals yesterday, this unseemly row leaves me with a touch of pity for Charles. To suffer through endless PR sorties from his sulkiest cub, only to have the trollop son's scheming bride salt the still open wounds of the firm. And no ruler needs to endure a degradation such as that from these dirty ingrates. Consider, by contrast, the frustrated mindset at work here. Live to explosive scandals such as Diana spill all of your business, your ex-wife death tragic, barefaced repskillion pedo enabling by Andrew etc. So only to have your own heir then terrorize you the very same way with ethnic arson for backing decorum over his greedy wife's hurt feelings that destroy you with plunder. Having the weight of multi-generational duty and expectations nearly implode under these two grifters' toxic cloud. Which is a perfectly illustrative lead-in. Charles has had enough of this protocol-disgracing madness. He's finally standing tall against one of his foibles. He is stepping back into the core royal role of securing the state from those within who would seek to destroy it. Harry's money-grubbing American bint would do well to contemplate such public service. The word Duchess should leave her toxic tongue with difficulty, as the legitimacy of the crown upon which she appropriates must lay entirely within her being part of this order of nobility. One has to wonder if, in her twisted mind, preventing the use of these vaunted Duchess initials makes the monarchy lesser, not her. It is an insufferable arrogance that likely deserves extreme punitive measures on Charles's part. Oh, and mark it, you know Duchess's PR machine was hastily preparing the Standard Identity Defense Missile Brigade to carpet-bomb whoever in the palace seemed even to be questioning her racial honor. Set against the backdrop of bias, institutional discrimination, and veiled slights regarding her trailblazing motherhood as an ethnic woman of wealth who is grabbing the traditional fuck out of antiquated systems, etc. This will just be ass banditry with the dial turned up to 11. Intended to spin Meghan's villainous ways at an additional point in her valiant journey. The Duchess was always going to overstep the mark, and of course the palace's racist punishment came into play. The outrage carousel goes round and round with Meghan behind the driver wheel, keeping up the victimhood, one revolution at a time. Gee, they could even sue to have the Duchess credentials revoked, on the grounds that by doing so they effectively are muzzling her, as she buffs up her own ethnicity. Especially since you've already bled networks dry of literal millions on lies masquerading as exposed session reality detours. The gall on these charlatans is incredible. However, that cynical game of ethnic branding and lobbyist muscle with activist mobs has lost the potency it once had. Over the years, too many unbiased seers and critical thinkers have catoned on to the Marco Modi's operandi. The brand value of Sussex's overload had been hobbling the fear factor needed to keep celebrities and journalists differential from the start. What we have now is that miserly photo of King Charles brushing Meghan away at the most recent Commonwealth service, a symbolic gesture for a shifting tide in public opinion. Desirable only through the focal point which now the world is needing acknowledging is how she always viewed him instead of the other way around. A brazenly entitled American daughter-in-law, rejecting generations of tradition, get a numerator, supplementary, roles, when the very folks who want to see, are trying to see, more progressivism in Meghan get tired of always having to rely on the saint of every grievance, that tells you something. The hoopsmanship needed to rationalize this blatant cash grab and me narcissistic exploitative behavior in the name of tearing down racist power systems is eventually going to drag anyone with a shred of dignity down with it. And thus the insidious truth behind Meghan's tantalizing facade emerges. And her previously boisterous band of backers starts to get subdued and bored. No more will the poems of her unique listenable injustices rise, no share from rising red of her enthusiastic poetry readings of leveraged struggle, as the stories of her truth slowly unravel what narrative she created to build her. As he loses the support of the public and whatever favor is left from the family, his acts of desperation become more and more crazed and self-destructive. Taking the Duchess title from Meghan was simply taking away the biggest chip that she had in the game, being able to play the nobility card that made a run-of-the-mill rich girl into the nouveau Windsor woman of perpetually crowing achieving equals $1. Without that, she is just another starlet in a tank full of pilots, her glory years dimming each season. An imbecile who professes for the same poisonous stories of victimization that genuine reformers spend their issues facing. The very prospect of the fate that awaits her so completely at odds with how grandiosely Meghan perceives herself as the embodiment of change, a fate Meghan is determined to avoid / by any means necessary. Therefore, the lawsuits, temper tantrums, and an obsession of constantly being elevated are really about soothing this monstrous ego. I am Queen Meghan, damn it, or your ass is getting sued. I swear at this point, her suddenly acting in this manner would not even surprise me. She always saw herself as history maker, but history won't yet be on her side. As a classic protagonist, she is constantly looking for larger stages to fill the shapeless void inside her. For all of his detractions, his mistakes and his self-inflicted wounds, even I worry that Charles will get to a point during family division time where he will no longer be able to defend himself, personally, in this twilight. He could flex all the hardline tricks of power, railing against the audacity of the Sussexes. But by then, the die will have been cast on seeds of lifelong beachery and a well-worn path toward estrangement of his entitled children. This course will not be changed by any patriarchal authority or effort to preserve. Tragically ironic, his long-accused replacement to the throne could die despised by his once-beloved sons for just supporting the very institution that gave them undeserved privileges, all for fighting against the soul-destroying agents that sought to alienate them from etiquette and tradition.